from KSA, wonderful. So today we're going to be talking about how to overcome the fear of failure and why this is a personal quest of mine to help people overcome fear of failure is because failure is the biggest killer of dreams. We have, as humans, we have a mind and we have a heart. And all of us collectively, we have dreams. Now, where big dreams and big goals come from? Where is that really coming from? Is it coming from the brain, from the thinking part? Or is it coming from your heart, from your inspired part, from the part where you connect with your greater self? I have a theory about that. I have a theory that your bigger self, your soul, your heart is connected to the universe. And that's where big dreams, big goals, big ideas come from. Because when we look through our history, as human beings, we did nothing but grow, tackle bigger ideas, invent new things, create new things, unbelievable and unheard of. Let's look back 100 years. Who would have thought that from a little square metal thingy, you will be able to see me from halfway around the world? And we've seen on this live right now, it's almost 300 people from all over the world. How crazy is that? Who could have envisioned that this will be possible? So at some point, this idea of a phone, of people seeing me from different parts of the world, was somebody's idea. So everything starts with an idea. But the trick is that that person who had this powerful idea of creating this phone so you can see me anywhere in the world had the courage to believe in that idea and had the courage to not kill off that idea. So the biggest killer of ideas, of progress, of success is the fear of failure. And let's just think about it, okay? What is this fear of failure? Failure is bad enough as it is. Failure, what is failure? Failure is being disappointed in yourself. Failure is, putting so much effort, investing so much effort and time and not having results, maybe. Failure is a place where your idea did not really come to life, to believe to the power. Amazing. I love that, Asma. So when we come to the fear of failure, why is it that failure is bad enough in itself? But adding on top of it the fear is like reliving this event every single day. How crazy is that we allow ourselves to live this? Imagine the worst case scenario. Imagine how our idea is not going to work. Imagine how not only our idea is not going to work, but everybody will laugh at us. How crazy is that? Where and how did we get to the point that we normalize this thing within ourselves? That somehow thinking of failure or fearing failure is a normal part of life. So I'm here to argue that fear of failure has zero value. And some people will say, well, Leo, if I fear failure, then I'm more rational, then I can calculate better. I completely disagree. The fear of failure is nothing but a cause, a source of your anxiety, a source of feeling anxious about the future, and a source of you not taking action. Okay, so why do we fear failure so much? There's many reasons why you fear failure. Number one, you fear judgment of other people. Because when we think about failure, we think, well, everybody will find out. Everybody will see that I'm not good enough, and they'll be laughing at me, they'll be criticizing me, they'll be commenting at me. So the number one reason why we fear failure is in relationship to other people, but that's not the main reason, okay? That is not the main reason for that, okay? Number two reason why we fear failure is because we fear that we invest so much time, so much effort, and will not have results. So we fear wasting time, we fear wasting money, we fear wasting our energy for nothing. So that is the second reason why we fear failure so much. But that's, again, is not the main reason why we fear failure so much. Because in order for us to overcome the fear of failure, we need to understand, why is it that I'm irrationally fearing this thing so much? Why is it that I'm fearing this so much? Okay, so the real reason why you fear failure so much, the real reason is within yourself. And let me explain. Most of people will spend their life giving in to the fear of failure, never trying things, in order not to disappoint themselves and not to confirm the thought that they are really not good enough. Yeah. They fear to confirm the thought that they are really not good enough. And you know what? For good reason. Imagine, what if I put all the effort? What if I put 100% of myself in? What if this happens? And it just proves that it's not enough. What if I'm proven that I'm not good enough? And the reason why you believe that, because many people confuse two terms. They confuse failure, the act of failing, with being a failure. So the reason why you fear failure so much is because of the confusion, is because of the wrong belief, thinking that if I fail, it means I am a failure. And I'm here to prove that wrong. You failing has nothing to do with you becoming a failure. Those are completely two different things. Does not mean if you fail that you are a failure. Okay? So step number one, first step. So you guys take this down. If there's anything I want you to take away from this workshop today, this is the most important part right here, right now. If you fail one time, 100 times, 100,000 times, it does not mean you are a failure. And now we're coming to the root cause of the problem. The root cause of the problem is your identity. When you know that you can take as much action as you want, you can fail as many times as you want, and it is guaranteed that you're not becoming a failure, guess what? You will definitely appease and let go of the fear. So how not to mix the two, right? Because what it is, we have tangled two concepts like that. So that's what it looks like. If I fail, it means I'm a failure. And that's why you fear taking action. That's why all of us, we fear so much to even step into that uncomfortable space. Because, well, if I fail, it means I'm a failure. And that is completely wrong. These are completely two different things. So why you're not a failure? Let me just explain to you why you're not a failure. Okay, because the part of your identity, who are you at your core? You are a learner. You are a giver. You are a blessing. You are a creator. When you become aware and take charge of deciding, so Nassim says, if I fail, so how can I get up again? I'll get to that part, Nassim. Stick around. I'll exactly explain you how you do that. But this right now is more important than the how, because that's where everything starts. You fear failure because you fear becoming a failure. But when you really embody the fact that it's impossible for you to become a failure, yes, you can fail 100 times, 1,000 times, 100,000 times. That doesn't matter. That does not make you a failure. So the way you get clear on that is by getting clear on what is it, my identity? What's my identity? Okay. And when I mean identity, just to make you clear, who am I? Like, who am I? Let me give you an example. My personal identity as Leo, I say I am a learner. I am a lifelong learner. Now, if I believe that my core identity is I'm a learner, who cares if I fail? Because I can learn how to overcome whatever comes my way. So when you choose and decide who are you at your core, at your identity, it's impossible for me to fear failure because, well, the act of failure does not mean I become a failure. Does it make sense, you guys? Okay. So you can use this amazing, it's very simple. Do you see? Is it simple? Let me check in with you. Is it simple? And I can see people on YouTube. I would love you to interact and let me know in the comments. Does it make sense? So who is failure? Nobody is failure, Tommy. Okay, great. Fantastic. Thank you. Articulate Design ASMR. Welcome. Thank you so much. Just, I would love you, even YouTube, I'd love you to interact as well. So let us know. Okay. Amazing. Great. So S7, why are you being mean to Tammy? Please, guys, be respectful in the comments where you are without warning directly blocked. I appreciate you being respectful in the comments. All right. Nobody is failure. Nobody's failure. It's an act of you not living up to your own expectations. That's all there is. It's an action. It's not personalized. It's you tried and it didn't work out as you expected. That's what it is, period, point blank. But what we do, the reason why we fear it so much, because we just suck it into our identity. And I am a failure. And why do we do that? Because we are not clear on who we are. The problem why people fear failure so much is because they don't take time to figure out, who am I? What am I about? Thank you so much for this. You're welcome, Fafa. So guess what's going to happen right now? We're going to decide now, who are you? Even if you're not conscious about your identity until now, or didn't take time to think about that intentionally, or didn't think that you can choose, or whatever, pick a description about yourself right now. Okay, right now, put a description for yourself. Okay, amazing. Okay, so Tammy has a question I want to ask, because when someone loses in the competition, if they don't win, they lose, they fail. Yes, they fail, but they're not failures. Yeah, failing is an act that I can, if I don't believe I'm a failure, if I just fail, I can try again, and I'll get you to this. Okay. Now let me get to the point. So you guys, we'll finalize this. Tammy, hang on. I have an answer for you just in a minute. Now, the first step to overcoming the fear of failure, be clear, identify who you are. What is your identity? Huh? Okay. Suggestion, why don't you open a space in Twitter and listen? Because I am Malik, my biggest audience is on TikTok, and my goal is to serve as many people as possible at once. So that's why I'm here. When I have a big following on Twitter, I'll do that on Twitter as well. Great. So what is your identity? Pick a word. Who are you? As I said, I'll give you an example. I am a learner forever. And I know even if I fail, I can learn how to overcome the failure. What is one word that you can pick for yourself to describe yourself that is powerful enough? What would that be? I would love to have some feedback from you guys. Hamza says, okay, amazing. I think you are a failure when you stop learning and trying. Hamza, love that. Hamza Jeddah, beautiful, beautiful. I'm a bird in soul. Okay, Fabi, if that helps you stop believing that you're a failure, good for you. D3 says confident, amazing. Tammy says the failure adjective should be reduced or replaced with something else, maybe. It's amazing, fantastic. Yes, if that works for you. Tajmul says learner also. Powerful, Tajmul, right there. Learner as well. And by the way, this is not exclusively for me. If you like learner, build that in your identity. Because when I say I'm a learner, whatever failure comes my way, I can overcome it. I'm a good listener, adapter to different situations. Fafa, amazing. Perfect. Great. Okay. Thomas Edison failed. So Hitch says Thomas Edison failed many times to discover light. He said the most certain way to succeed is to try. I love that. Great. Fantastic. I love that. I love that. I love that. So you guys, first step to overcome the fear of failure. Number one is identify who you are and understand that failing and becoming a failure are completely different things. And the only time you become a failure is when you decide to agree with it. So stop agreeing that you are a failure because you're not. Yes, stop agreeing to that. Stop agreeing to that. You're not a failure. Yes, you're failing. And even if you fail 100,000 times, you are not a failure. Step one. Now, step two, a big idea. And guys, listen, this is a big idea. Failure does not exist. How about that? Failure does not exist. And let me share with you a story. So the late great basketball player Kobe Bryant. So if you're familiar, he's one of the biggest basketball players He, tragically passed away in an airplane accident. But at his time, when he was playing, he was one of the greatest basketball players of his time. So the journalists were shocked, and they were chasing him all the time because he seemed to not have fear of failure, right? So he was famous for this thing. He didn't care about failing. He would always take risks. So the journalists would ask him. The journalists would ask him. They say, Kobe, you seem that I forgot the words. Kobe, you seem that you don't fear failure at all. How do you do it? And Kobe would always reply, and this is a guy who won crazy championships in his entire professional career. So he would say, failure does not exist. And then the journalist would be puzzled, say, what do you mean failure doesn't exist? Of course failure exists. His reply would always be, failure does not exist, because if I fail on Monday, I will learn from it, and then I will try again on Tuesday. Failure does not exist because the story continues. So in his mind, he never allowed himself, what he was saying always, he would say, my brain cannot process the concept of failure because I don't understand what failure is. So what he did, he primed himself, he refrained, he changed so much for himself the meaning of failure that his brain couldn't even understand. Everybody's saying, oh, fear of failure. He couldn't even understand what failure even meant. So the power of him, what he did with himself, he says, I'm a learner forever. Amazing. Yes. So what he did, he primed himself. He changed the meaning of failure so much that his brain couldn't even understand that failure exists. So the step 2 of overcoming the fear of failure, redefine what failure means to you. And I will give you a very clear example for it. And after this example, you will never think about failure again. Are you ready to let go of fear of failure forever, for real? And I'm serious. This is powerful stuff, guys. This is real. I told you I'm going to give you life coaching, powerful coaching, and nothing less than that, because I'm not holding anything away. The transformation is today. Yes, ready. Amazing, 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 amazing. Let's do this. This is real. This is how transformation happens. Okay? So we are redefining failure for you forever. Are you ready to let go of failure? Are you ready to never again say that I'm a failure? Oh my God, I'm afraid I'm going to fail. Are you ready for this? This is exciting. This is good stuff. All right, cool. So the reason why you feel failure so much is because you think that failure is final, irreversible, and terminal. Okay. So the reason why you fear failure is because you think failure is final, irreversible, and terminal. It's basically right now you think that failure is this brick wall, right? And then if you speed up your car, and this is failure, and in your mind, the concept right now is that failure is if I speed up and I crash into this wall, I crash and burn and I die. Okay. So the reason why you fear failure so much is because you imagine failure as this brick wall, and if you are in a car, if you crash into it, you're gonna crash and die. But of course, if I think that this is failure, I will do anything to avoid the crash and burn part, right? I will do anything in my power, including never even trying. And that's the danger. And that I feel it is my last chance, Amal says. That's the perception that you hold about failure until today, until this point, and it's about to change. And by the way, guys, if you enjoyed this, please double tap the screen. You just give some likes to this live and more people can join, because this is good stuff. You are going to change for yourself what failure means. So the brick wall. What I want you to do is I want you to do one thing right now. Imagine, okay, you are the car driver and you stop the car. So you're about to embark on something new. And you say, well, I know that I imagine failure as this brick wall and it doesn't really work for me. It stops me from trying. I need to go and inspect it. Now, I want you to imagine that you're driver of that car. You get out of the car and you walk. And you walk and you come closer to this brick wall, which you think failure is, right? And you don't touch it. You just look at it. Oh, wow, it looks really scary, this failure thing. It's like it's really tall, it's really wide. I cannot go around it. The failure is a brick wall. What can I do? Now, what I want you to do is, I want you to imagine that you're pushing. Just put your hand on the wall and you push the wall. And then you say, Leo, this is crazy. I cannot push a brick wall. I'm saying do it anyway. Okay. I want you to imagine that with your hand, you're pushing the brick wall. Try it. And in your mind, I want you to see, you start pushing the wall and the wall moves. And you're like, oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? I want you to imagine that you're pushing this wall even further and it moves even further. I want you to imagine that you push it even further, even further, even further until this wall collapses and because it becomes nothing but a bump in your road to success. Yeah. The secret of overcoming the fear of failure is understanding that failure is not fatal, is not final. Failure is nothing but a bump in your road to success. And now I want you to imagine once you overturn this wall, yeah, I want you to imagine that you see, oh, actually now I can see there are many other walls, maybe other walls behind this wall. And I want you to go in your mind and push wall after wall after wall after wall and transform those walls into little speed bumps on your road to success. Failure is nothing but a speed bump. And if you're trying something new, if you're creating something new, failure, it's not that you have to put your attention in avoiding failure. Failure is guaranteed. Boom, right there. Failure is part of the growth process. It is necessary because sometimes the biggest lesson comes through pain. So when you stop running away from failure, hiding from failure, pushing failure away, I don't want to see it, into, come on, failure, come at me, failure, because even when you come, I'm ready for you. I know that you're nothing but a bump, a speed bump in my road on my way to success. Does it make sense? When you understand that failure is part of the process, you cannot succeed unless you fail. It is not the brick wall into which you crush and burn. You push it down and becomes a bump in the road that you overcome and you continue your road to success. Okay? So Asma says, I don't think the failure comes to success. I think is when we believe of it, then we are. Good perspective. Great. Amazing. So let me ask you this. Do you still think that failure is that brick wall into which you crush and burn? Or do you see how in your mind you can reframe that? That, well, instead of crush and burn is nothing but the speed bump in my road. Okay. Great. When you fail, you stand up because you're not a failure, you're learning and be stronger more. So Hanko, that's it. That's basically, you summarized everything we talked about until now. Amazing. Does it make sense? Now, I want you to check in with that fear of failure within you right now. Tell me what's happening. How did the perspective change from, oh my God, I hope I never fail, to, come on, failure, bring it on because I'm ready for you. Okay. So what happens is that when we reframe failure into something that we can overcome, you are not, your mind, you take your focus on from the fear and you can put this powerful focus into power, into pursuing things, okay, into success. So do not waste your time on fearing the failure. Put all your energy and time into pursuing success. Because what's happened, any second that you're spending on fearing failure, you're taking your focus from succeeding. It's a big question and it's a big deal. Sorry, I'll have some water, guys. All right, how does it make sense to me? Trippy B, welcome back. And she says, to me, failure is just a phase, not a result. Amazing, great, fantastic. What are your perspectives until now? Right, so now we know failure is guaranteed, then failure doesn't really exist, as Kobe Bryant says. Okay, but then you say, well, Leo, that's all great and fun, but how do I actually continue when things get rough, when I start losing sight of my purpose, or when it gets boring, when it gets hard, when it gets the fact that I'm pushing, how do I push through? Okay, because it's nice for us to talk right now, but then in the act of, sorry guys, in the act of being there, how do I actually overcome the feeling that I'm a failure? Because the problem is that at some point when you're failing, you will start feeling this feeling of being a failure creeping in. This isn't going anywhere. So you have to be very, very clear and manage your expectations. Another reason why this fear of failure will creep back in is as if you don't manage your expectation. What are your expectations of the results of what is it that you're working on? So the next point to review is, in order for us to overcome the fear of failure, is review your expectations. Review your expectations, a very, very important thing. Because when I set myself up for failure, that's how it looks like. It looks like, well, I'm starting this business, and if by 12 months from now I'm not making $1 million, it means this is a failure. If this is how you think about your project, about anything that you lower your expectations, that's a very good point. I'll get to that. So when you set yourself expectations of such way, even if you get to $900,000, you will still be regarding that as a failure. So you have to be very careful how you set your own expectations, because the only thing that will make you feel like you're a failure is your own expectations, nothing else around it. So instead of setting crazy expectations like that, switch your perspective to, I am working towards $1 million. So instead of saying, if I don't reach $1 million, then I'm a failure, instead switch to, I am working towards $1 million, and I'll take whatever it takes to get there. I'll do whatever it takes to get there. Switch your expectations. So don't ever use expectations again, because they will lead you nothing but to pure disappointment. Release that and set standards. Release expectations and standards. If I don't reach $1 million, I'm a failure. Well, my intention is I'm working towards $1 million. It's a whole different mind shift. Now you're no longer, if I don't do this, I'm a failure. It's like, okay, cool. Now your mind is fully open to thinking, okay, how can I maximize? How can I be creative? How can I be resourceful? How can I be inspired for me to reach that goal? You remove the negative part. You remove the failing part. The only reason you feel like a failure is because you allow that thought in your mind. And thank you so much for everybody who's following me right now. You guys are amazing. And by the way, this live is recorded as we speak. I'm live on YouTube. And if you missed the beginning, if you want to rewatch this, go here, find my YouTube, subscribe. I'm there right now. And you can rewatch this in high quality anytime you want. So for everybody who wants to review this, go here, find my YouTube, subscribe, and it's there for you. Okay, great. So I saw somebody asking a question. I'll take a few questions now. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. And guys, please be respectful and don't spam the comments. This is a space for everyone to learn and grow together. Right, so I saw a question. Somebody wanted to ask a question. So please, if you have a question regarding everything we shared so far, the fear of failure, now is the time. I'll be more than happy to take that question. What questions do you have? And I'll check YouTube as well. Do you have any questions? Please share. I'll be more than happy to answer. All right. And I will just take a moment and block some people who are spamming. Yes. Okay. Great. So time and date I started the live stream is 2 p.m. Dubai time. I go live 2 p.m. Dubai time. But do you have a question regarding fear of failure, regarding the topic that we just discussed? Okay. So Notur says, I feel like every day is a constant loop. I'm tired of life and I'm burned out. Any tips, Leo? Okay, this is not really on the topic, but it sounds like you might be just physically tired, or you might have mild depression. I would definitely say check your body. Sometimes when we exhaust our physical body is really influencing our mindset. I would say take a break. It sounds like you maybe overworked and over pushed yourself. Take a break, do a medical checkup as well, because sometimes, let's say, low levels of vitamin D has proven that influences a lot your mood. So do a physical checkup and take a break. Sometimes that's all we need. Okay. All right. Omar says, how can I continue without feeling like a failure? Omar, this is something we discussed if you're not here from the beginning. Failing and being a failure are completely two different things. You've probably tangled up these two concepts together. If I fail, it means I'm a failure. So the only reason you're feeling this way is because you need to understand that failing and being a failure has nothing to do with each other. So untangle those things. Rewatch this workshop. Go here, YouTube, subscribe, rewatch this workshop from the beginning. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, we fear of failure because mostly we fail. And how amazing is that? Failure is learning. As Thomas Edison said, failure is one more way to understand that things don't work this way. Don't quote me on that. I'll check the quote right now. Thomas Edison on failure. I'll tell you now. Okay. So when a reporter asked Thomas Edison, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times? Edison replied, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. So he regarded every failure as another step closer to his success. It's all about how you frame failure in your mind. Okay. But sometimes, okay, guys, I'm going to give you a warning. Some people are so hung up on the failure identity. Now be careful, because for some people, the failure identity, they cling to them. They're addicted to that because it absorbs you of any kind of responsibility. If I tell myself I'm a failure, that means I don't even have to try. I don't even have to put in the work. I don't have to get up in the morning. I don't have to stay up late. I don't have to say no to instant gratifications because I'm a failure. Life is easier. And it's a rough one, and I love you guys, but be careful not to be addicted to this feeling of failure, feeling of victim. And many people are, not consciously, subconsciously maybe. Okay, but I'm calling you out. I'm calling that feeling of failure out. Okay, be careful not to be addicted to that. Okay, it's a big deal. Right, let's see if we have more questions on fear of failure topic. If not, then we will continue. Okay, great. What should I do if people make fun at my goals? Number B01. I'll demonstrate you a very advanced tip. How to stop caring what other people think. Right here, watch me. That's it. That's it, right here. Don't listen. Don't listen. How important is your goal to you? They might have 1,000 different opinions on your goals because they're not you. They don't live in your skin. How important is your goal to you? Do you care more about your goal or other people's opinions? It's your choice. That's as much as I can do. Okay. Great. Okay, Noof says, how I can overcome if I'm an anxious person? That's a very good question. Very, very, very good question. Okay, so if you have tendency to be anxious or maybe mild depression, whatever, so that's a big deal. Okay, so for you, probably I would say first address your anxiety, because maybe the anxiety is hindering you or affecting you in other areas of your life. So I would say first address the anxiety, and then maybe this fear of failure would solve itself out. Okay, so it's a very good question, because people who tend to be more anxious, I don't advise you to start working on fear of failure. I would say start on working on the anxiety part. Okay, Address it however you think is needed, and then you'll see that fear of failure might even disappear. Okay, was a very good question. Okay. So Asma says you're right, but some people can't. So they're important to clean first their soul. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but if that works for you. And again, there's different ways on addressing and overcoming anxiety, fear of failure. And maybe my way, whatever I'm sharing with you guys, might not be the best one. So if you find a better way to deal with that for yourself, go for it. Look, the goal is like, I'm not follow my way, listen to me, whatever. No, whatever takes you from inaction to taking massive action and reaching your goals, go for it. Go for it. Okay? So it doesn't really have to be my way. I don't really care. I don't care about me being right. What I care is about you taking action, overcoming fear of failure, and go and have massive success. That's all I care about, you guys. All right? Great. Okay. So Majid says, Majid says, I was thinking that I wanted to face every possible obstacle in my studies so I can excel. Don't think about facing the obstacles. Think about studying. Don't put your energy into the negative. Don't put your energy into resistance. Just focus on your studies. Simple as that. Sometimes we overthink things, okay? Okay, great. So Omar says, I'm trying to be active, but without results at the end. So what's killing you here, Omar, is your expectations. Change your expectations. Change your expectations, and the result will change as well, all right? Okay. So Fabi says, how to start again after failing in finishing master's degree? Just start. Stop replaying the story about the previous failure in your head again and again and again and again. What you're doing, you're giving into the story about what happened. Pause that, say, okay, that happened, I can see, I'm gonna pause that, and I'm gonna focus on what I need to do. Yes, the topic is how to overcome fear of failure, and we had a huge, massive workshop. And if you guys, you wanna review this, rewatch this, I'm recording this as we speak on YouTube right now. Go here, find my YouTube, subscribe, and rewatch this as many times as you need, okay? This is going to be available for free, forever, for you to go and rewatch it anytime this fear of failure starts creeping in. Right, now the next piece. So I'm going to continue with the last piece of overcoming fear of failure. So the mind, look, the way our mind works, if we remove a belief from our mind, the mind cannot stay in vacuum. The mind will always go to another belief or find something else to believe. So the mind is like a monkey, always needs something to play, always. So if I remove the belief that failure is not bad, I'm not a failure, we need to plant something else in. So what is it that you should put all your focus in when these thoughts come back? Oh, I'm a failure. Oh, I failed. Oh, what are the people going to think? Oh, I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. All of that nonsense. When it starts coming back, what should you do? I say instead of focusing on avoiding failure, as we said, failure is welcomed, is part of the process. You can fail many times. What I want you to focus, put all your attention on, not on avoiding failure, but what I want you to put all your focus on into developing the skill of bouncing back from failure. What is more important is not you trying to avoid the failure, but really developing. So stop spamming, or I'll block you, please. Spark star, please stop spamming. Okay, well, there you go. Now we're just gonna block you. Thank you. There you go. Done. Great. So focus, put all, blocking down, put all your attention into developing the skill resilience. Tammy, you're right there. I created a special name for it because resilience is different, but putting on a name on it, it will help you really lock it down in relationship to fear of failure. Bounce back from failure skill. And I call it a skill. Because when I say that, well, bouncing back from failure is not a talent, is not who I am, I don't need to be confident. It is just a skill that I'm going to learn how to practice, okay? So, bounce back from failure skill. What does it mean? What does this skill entail? What is there? We can call it resilience, but it's not only that because it's specific to failure. What is this bounce back skill? after failure is really practicing that self-belief over and over and over and over again. Okay. Okay, so Sardar says, for example, I'm a failure about writing comments here because you didn't answer my replies. How is that a failure? What, based on me not seeing a comment? You've got failure wrong defined. Okay. So bounce back after failure is a skill. Exactly. It's nothing but a skill. So how can we become so resilient to train ourselves to bounce back after failure? Easy, without any emotional charge, energized, but at the same time, taking away the learnings of the failure. Because as Tom Bilyeu says, failure is the most data-rich situation. So what he means by that is data-rich means that the most you will learn is from failure, is from pain. Vishen Lakiani also says there is two ways we learn in life as humans, Kensho and Satori. So I don't remember which one's which. Let me just quickly remember. Okay, Kensho, yes. So this is for this term Kensho and Satori are from Japanese Buddhist term. So Satori stands for learning through experience, learning through understanding, and Kensho is learning through pain. So when we fail, what happens to us, Kensho happens to us. We learn from pain. Failure is nothing but a form of learning. Kensho is a form of learning through pain, because failure, still, when it doesn't work, is nothing pleasant about it. Let's be honest. So when we learn through pain, it's a very valuable lesson. Okay. So when I stop looking, so now we're talking about how can I become resilient? How can I learn from pain? How can I bounce back after failure? Because how I frame for me failure is that failure is Kensho, learning through pain. And when I look at failure from this perspective, then the way I bounce back from failure is like, wow, thank you, universe, for this lesson. Because guess what? Whenever you lose money, whenever something happens and you have an emotional pain, you learn so much. You will learn never to do that again. When you're a child and you touch a hot stove and you burn yourself, you learn very quickly never to touch that thing again. So failure is the best teacher. The best teacher is your last failure and last mistake. So when I frame failure in that way, that failure is Kensho, is my painful lesson, and it's so much value in it, then me bouncing back from that is going to be no trouble, because I'm regarding failure as Kensho. Painful, but learning. Okay? I try my best to avoid pain. Fabian, that's the problem. We think because we're so obsessed with avoiding discomfort, with avoiding pain, that our life becomes very limited. Very limited. There is no growth without pain. Let me say that again. There is no growth without pain. Now, either you're going to stay forever comfortable and avoiding pain in your comfort zone and never grow, and then get to the end of your life with massive regrets, or you're going to say, you know what? Maybe I should experience a little bit of pain. Maybe I should experience a little bit of learning in order for me to grow and really become the person that I'm supposed to become. Okay? That's a completely different perspective, because we're talking about developing the skill of bouncing back from failure. How does it sound, you guys? I'm curious. How does it sound? And everybody who's joining, everybody who's following right now, I'm super excited. So I am on my YouTube channel right now, and I see you guys already there. I super appreciate you. I see everybody joining and subscribing. So I'm super, super, super excited. Thank you so much. Just so you know, this whole workshop is recorded on YouTube right now. And if you want to rewatch it, you can go here, find me on YouTube, subscribe, and watch it as many times as needed. So Tammy says also, Fabi says, I'll try. I agree with that, what you said. Thanks. You're welcome. Tammy says, also avoiding pain is painful because we will always be anxious about the chance of being in pain. Tammy, I couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Okay, Zubir says, I'm an Arab Brighton author. Thank you so much, Zubir, for being here. I hope you're finding value in this. So Nuf says, any advice for borderline people because we feel shame if we have failed? Nuf, what do you mean by borderline? I'm not quite sure what do you mean by that, and I don't want to assume anything that might be wrong. So please just give me a little bit of clarity on that. So Sash says, I gave up because I tried hard, but I still failed. Sash, let me share a secret with you. 100% of people on this live have failed multiple times, including myself. You are part of 100% of people on this planet. Everybody fails at many things all the time. The choice is yours. Ultimate failure is giving up. As long as, even if you gave up and you say, you know what, I changed my mind, I'm going to try again. Do you understand that you can undo failure by choosing to take action and try again? That's the magic. You can undo failure because the only failure is giving up. That's it. Failure is worse than death because you're still alive and you choose not to do something about it. Undo failure. Wow, I'm going to write this down. This idea just came to me, but I think it's great. I'm going to share this. Undo failure. Undo failure by deciding to take action. Okay? Great, amazing. Let's see what other comments we have. Failure stops some people to work on or do anything sometimes. I know, user 52, but then you take some time to be sad and then you take it again. The only failure is giving up, Fabi. There you go. And even if you gave up, even if you give up, it's a solution. Undo that decision. So, okay, guys, let me just clarify something. Giving up is nothing but a decision that you can change. It's your life. If you gave up, it doesn't mean I cannot undo that. Yes, you can change your mind in a second. Giving up is not final terminal. It's not that brick wall. You can undo that decision and you can try again any day. Okay. So let's just clarify. There is no giving up, final giving up. There isn't. So great, amazing. So I hope you guys are taking value so far. I hope this is inspiring you to take action. And to finalize, I want to know. So this is going to be your gift to me. I want to know, what is it as a result of this live? Hopefully I've succeeded to help you see things differently, maybe release the fear of failure completely, maybe a little bit, based on this powerful workshop today. What is it that you say, wow, maybe I was fearing failure and I didn't want to look at this topic or start something. And now after this workshop, I'm actually going to start something or do something. So share in the comments something that you changed your mind about because of this workshop, something that you are going to go back to your life and say, you know what, I'm going to try that thing again. Now I know there's no failure. Now failure doesn't exist. Now I know I even if I gave up, I can change my mind. What is it? So I'm going to read the comments, guys. So what is it that you could change your mind on because of this live? Wow, Zubir says, everyone's betting on my failure before I open my own factory. Success lies in trusting God. Amazing, Zubir. Golden words, love that. As Sash says, how to overcome the fear of future. That's probably anxiety we're talking about. So if you fear the future, that's anxiety. So maybe remove the term fear of future because that sounds very out there and is like, how can I do that? I don't know. But when it's anxiety, there's so many ways you can do that. So maybe name things as they are and then address that. 3PB says, I changed my mind about that test. We'll try again. Yes, success. I love that. If I don't answer personal questions, sorry about that. Okay, great. So I'm curious, what is it that you changed your mind about as a result of this workshop? Mohammed, I'm based in Dubai. Right now, I'm broadcasting from Dubai. So 3PB says giving up is giving up is a choice that I can go back from. Empower me. Yes, I love that. D3 says, what if I've grown up with pressure of being perfectionist? You can change that too. You can change your mind about that too. By the way, perfectionism, we did a full workshop on perfectionism. It's on my YouTube right now. Go and subscribe and watch it. It's a whole hour training. Your perfectionist will be blown out, blown away, deleted. So it's there. Okay. So user 52 says, depend on yourself. No one can help and push you except you. Great. Love that. Yes, that's accountability. Big time. Love that. Lily says, you give me power to change my life. Lily, no, you give yourself power to change your life because you listen to what I'm saying. I'm just like a messenger, blah, 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 blah. But you chose to believe and to listen. So give yourself full credit. Amazing. Thank you so much, says D3. You're welcome. Fatima says, how do you have time to look good in the morning? I don't know how to answer this question. Priorities, I suppose. So Zubir says, there's a failure that we cannot overcome. I mean, in our ability to contain our loved ones. Zubir, what do you mean by that? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you kindly just be a little bit more clear? Okay, great. Yes, the perfectionist was the topic yesterday. So check it on YouTube. Thank you, 3PB. Yeah, it's there. It's already posted. But hold on, I don't know if it's on YouTube already because yesterday, remember, you guys, we had the yesterday we talked about goals. The day before we talked about perfectionism. So yeah, it's on YouTube anyway. Thank you, 3PB. Okay. Tree gives an advice to Fatima. I love that. Just wake up early and have a good sleep routine. Yep, I love that advice. I love how you guys giving advice to yourself in the comment. And that's the power of community. I love that, love that, love that. Tammy says, both perfectionism and failure do not exist. What else you will teach us does not exist? Tammy, look, all these perfectionism, fear of failure are concepts, are beliefs, thoughts. Unthink them and think what's useful for you. Look, in my life, is it helpful for me to believe that failure is bad and I should fear it? The results, if I believe in my life of that, is that I'm not taking action and my life sucks. If I give up that belief and I adopt another belief that I'm powerful, that I can do anything, that failure doesn't mean anything, then I take action and have success in my life. Like, it's just a software. Your thoughts, your beliefs, just a software. If on my iPhone right now, a software is old and it doesn't work, I change the software and the phone works beautifully. Thoughts and beliefs are the same thing on a human being. But for some silly reason, we decided that we cannot change that. The same way you can change the software on your computer, the same way you can change the software on you, which are your thoughts, your beliefs, your opinions. And when you change that, your life transforms. That's what I'm teaching them. The power is in your hands at all times. That's it. Amazing, 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 amazing. Great. What is failure? Maku, if you just joined, we did a whole hour on this. Go here, find my YouTube, rewatch this whole thing 10 times. I'm kidding, of course. Watch it as many times as you need and take away things that are true to you, okay? So Fabi says, changing the software until unhelpful thoughts think what's useful to us. Yes! Isn't that simple? I mean, it takes a little time and effort and work, but it's simple. It's not, okay. So 3PB says, Coach Leo changed my perspective on these two concepts. I don't find a problem with that. Yes. Amazing subject. Amazing. Yes. All right, you guys. So that was great today. It is wrong if I fear more the disappointment judging of people. Okay, so Hannah, if you're not here, somebody asked me, I feared, so Asma, I think you said that, what if other people judge my goals? What do I do? So I think it's related. If you fear disappointing other people, right? So I demonstrated a very advanced tool and technique on how, when somebody judges you or comments on you, this is what you do. Let me demonstrate again. Okay, this is very advanced. So this is researched scientifically. You do this. That's all you do. What do you care about? Your goals, your life, or other people's opinions? Okay? They're not in your skin, they're not living your life. That's what you do. Okay? I like to joke a lot, you guys. I think it's important for us to laugh at ourselves and not take ourselves too seriously. Today is April's Fool, on top of anything. Okay, some people create from failure success. All the people create success from failure. 100% of people. 100% of people create success from failure. Okay? Not me. Sorry, Asma. I apologize. Somebody else. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to imply anything. So I apologize for that. So tonight we want another session live. I'm not going to go live tonight because I'm going to spend time with my family. But if you want to watch more of this kind of content, I have already many lives like this one. Go here, find my YouTube, subscribe, and there's a big library already of many things, many topics that we're addressing time after time after time after time again. All right. Okay, so you guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to jump off now. I will go live next time, so I will skip tomorrow, Saturday. I won't go live, but Sunday, April 3rd, so not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, I'll be back live here. So in two places, you can find me live on TikTok and live on YouTube at the same time at 2 p.m. Dubai time. So 2 p.m. Dubai time on Sunday, April 3rd, we will come back with another powerful topic. Until then, take care of yourselves. Rewatch this content, because if you see these negative thoughts creeping back in, you know where to go. Go into YouTube, rewatch those things, play it in the morning, and thank you, Zubir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate everyone. YouTube, appreciate you. Everybody who's watching on YouTube. Tajamul, everybody, you see Ensemble. Fantastic. Thank you for being here. Take good care of yourselves. Follow, by the way, check out my content. If you're on YouTube, TikTok, check me everywhere. I appreciate you. Instagram is here as well. Much love for you guys. See you on Sunday, April 3rd, 2 p.m. Dubai time. Take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.